Good-looking guys.
Sex.
People are gorgeous.
Sex.
Guys dancing.
Sex.
Glamour. Hot sex.
Naked men everywhere.
Well, sex.
What more can you say?
It's a fantasy. I think there's a much darker. There's a much darker underside to it all, which we also try to show. That it's not all as bright lights and fun as it looks on the surface. That there's a darkness underneath it. But if you just look at the surface, I think it looks like fun, and you can kind of get into that for a while.
And we don't know if there really is a Babylon like our Babylon, but it doesn't really matter because it's a place where the characters it's sort of the mecca for the characters on the show. It's a place where you go to fulfill certain fantasies and take some recreational drugs and dance and grope and find a little sex, and it's an important place for these people in this world.
Those boys wear those wonderful tight clothes and sweat and rub up against each other, and it's it's just hot sex.
I never get to do that.
You don't, honey? I know you don't. You never come to my diner at night when we're closing up.
It's where everyone in this scene comes to, and that's their church. Babylon is where they go to meet up and let it all out, and it's a great equalizer.
This sort of is the essence of the whole sort of community. I think it's the freedom, it's the wildness, it's the free love, it's anything goes, it's anything is possible. I think that's what it is.
I think because everyone loves to come together as people and celebrate, and I think that's kind of where life begins. I think people have done that through the ages. You come together, you celebrate, you laugh, you dance, you sing, and this is where that starts. This is where it happens.
I think it's kind of like, Never Neverland, a place where boys never grow up, and if they do, they don't fit in and feel sad and pathetic and sit alone by the bar and nobody talks to them.
I know that there's a heavy teenage girl constituency. I mean, I think it's like a really non-threatening way to see all these great-looking guys, right? I think the gay viewers, it sort of speaks for itself why they enjoy it. But any kind of nightclub, when there's sex, it's good, right?
I started to go out and just look at neighborhood clubs around and see what we could put as inspiration from some of them. But basically, Pittsburgh is a steel town, so we were looking at it as sort of a box of steel and concrete. And in Pittsburgh, as far as I know, it's a little more underground. So that was part of it. And then just memories and ideas like having a cluster of disco balls, which we don't have right now because we've got Rage in their place. But it is one of my favorite parts of the club.
It's so popular because it's the only gay dance club actually in Pittsburgh, Babylon. And if you're coming to Pittsburgh, it's right on Liberty Avenue. I am proud to be the sponsor and spokesman for the Pittsburgh Board of Tourism, and I'd like to invite you to come to Pittsburgh. Find Babylon, discover Babylon, dance Babylon, be Babylon.
This whole studio has been very difficult. We have posts everywhere. It was a big deal in Brian's loft as well, where we actually put the posts. We made them part of the design, and here they kind of basically just sort of cornered the edges, and now again they're problematic because as you can see they fall in the middle of where our stage is. But luckily we have a catwalk as well, so it seems to make sense visually. Everyone was a little worried that Babylon would look too small, and luckily it is photographing very, very large.
Fuck, I hate this. Try a papaya sauvignon. Ew.
We based a lot of the set on Sharon as well. You may notice over here we have a nice shelf
a nice rack up here.
Empty liquor bottles.
And we base that on this shelf here.
Yes, I see the similarity.
You see?
And able to put whole bottles.
Yeah, able to hold
underneath.
many bottles.
That's right.
It's so tasty, you want to try all three.
Ah, so wretched, you'll want to puke. Not even a fucking piss queen will swallow this shit.
By the way, all the cool little drinks you see, water and food coloring. And, you know, they taste a little bit like flat Perrier. Super, huh? And everybody's having a good time, and we're all drunk, right? No. And the drugs, you ever see we're snorting all the drugs and stuff? Okay, that's lactose. That's just, milk protein powder. You roll it over in the little thing and like that, and then you sneeze after the take. And you're like, I love you. You're my best friend, but it's cut.
Clubs are black boxes. That's all that they are. It's all how it's lit. What you see on film is really, when you go to a club, it's all the lighting packages, it's called. We have our lighting package up here, as you see.
Babylon is mostly lighting. It's mostly lighting, and often what we don't have out today are we have these underlit platforms with plexi on top that we build like a little ziggurat of, and that's where the boys dance, or we use these types of platforms, and you have either smoke coming out from underneath, or they're lit from underneath, and really it's painted by light, this set. So where we plan things with light, like disco balls, like all the super greens and super blues that we have around, that's really what makes the set come together.
Now, everyone has mentioned, we're basically shooting a black box. You're the genius that gives it the atmosphere. What are some of the things that you do to give it that atmosphere?
Well, all of this really came from off the pilot, and I have to hand Russell Mulcahy the honor of it, because he loved to shoot into lights. He loved to shoot right at the light. And my camera assistant, Glenn, wanted to put on hard mats to prevent flaring. And he said, "What the hell's that?" And he ripped it off the camera. So we've just taken that and run with it. So every episode we just try and shoot into as many lights as possible.